What is up, everybody? This is episode 7 of the PTA Inspire series. I know we're already at 7 episodes of this one. This is awesome. I'm here with Kris Davis. He is a recently passed the NPTE person. I guess it would be new grad, newly licensed PTA. And he's just going to share a little bit about his story as a career changer. I know you get mad if you're saying this, an older student who's gone back to school after being out for a little bit and how he's navigated passing the NPTE. So, Kris, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Let's see how I got started. Well, I worked as a probation officer for 8 years, got my first degree in CJ at Lock Haven University in Pennsylvania. Um, did that career for 8 years, wasn't really fulfilling everything that I wanted. And in 2020, I had a rotator cuff repair. So I was a patient in the clinic, and that kind of opened my eyes on, how everything was going. And I thought that would be a really cool career to have.
So you've seen it from both sides. So how did you feel like your experience as a patient has helped you with your, clinical application, being a clinician?
Well, I feel like, for me, having a background with exercise, a lot of things were easier, like posture, that kind of stuff. As a patient, I understood that, more people demanded more of the therapist's time, that kind of thing. But it was just really interesting and eye opening that, that could be a career.
So was that the catalyst for you to start looking into PTA stuff?
Yes, I applied to Central Penn the first time in 2020, and then I got cold feet, waited a little bit, and then shortly later, I was like, all right, I'm doing this, and went back to school.
Sweet. I like seeing, I also went to Central Penns for people listening to this for my PT degree. And it's just kind of cool seeing other people going through the program and, succeeding and whatnot. And just, kind of got to rep your alma mater. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, it was definitely awesome there. All the professors were great. The other students were great, coming from a totally different, skill set and major. I feel like I kind of had to work a little extra hard, because everybody else was either got like an exercise science degree or, just out of high school. So, I haven't had any kind of anatomy before this, probably 8, 9 years before that. So it was like relearning everything for the first time. And also learning how to study again took like at least a semester and a half, I feel.
Yeah.
Just because, the reading, getting good study habits, making sure you're highlighting the right thing.
And I feel like that's something a lot of students that are probably listening to this struggle with is learning how the heck do I even study. So that's like one of the first things that I start to teach in my course now. You got it a little bit before, but this is what I've moved my course more towards, teaching students how to build a good foundation for their studying. Because I mean, once you figure out how to study, it's like you got this. It's just coasting along. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I did the tutoring for anatomy 1 and 2. Those were pretty brutal. Just getting back in there as your first classes and looking at the muscles. So they really helped. They kind of said, oh, you're going to want to focus on this and this. Make sure you really hit your muscles and bones and all the little bumps and stuff that you have to know.
So, what do you feel like was your biggest struggle, like going through PTA school, and then also when it came to studying for the NPTE?
Well, like I said, I had to put a lot more time in, I feel, than others. Again, like my reading comprehension isn't the best. So I would read a question and I'd be like, what the heck did that just say? And then I'd just skip it and come back. I was always a slow test taker as well. I was always the last one to hand in. I think some of my professors were like rolling their eyes, like, come on, Kris, let's go. But other than that, like I would say just the broad spectrum of everything. Like at least with school, I could piece things together and say, okay, I need to study for, neuro and kines. So, okay, I have two quizzes. I can focus on those two. Everything else can wait. But for this, it's like, here's a 1,000-page book, and we can ask you 200 questions on anything in there.
And it might not even be in the book.
Yes, a lot of that.
That's the one that gets a lot of people. So yeah, I remember you were telling me, you're like, Briana, the first time I took the exam, if you don't mind me saying that you didn't
No,
pass the first time. So Kris didn't pass on his first attempt, but he killed it on his second attempt. That's all that matters. He didn't give up.
yep, missed it by a few points. And I remember looking at the circle and that failed across. That I was just like, oh, I just shut my computer, went to bed. I was just over it.
Did you
And then
cry
it's
or
like,
anything?
no,
Or did you just like be like, oh, damn it, then go to bed?
you don't go to bed mad. You just say, well, that's a bummer. You wake up, it's a new day. Then I didn't even look at anything for probably 3 weeks. I was just like, I'm just not ready to do it. Then I found your program, and some of my classmates were like, oh, yeah, we did that for the first time we took it. It really helped. It really breaks down things. I was like, okay, awesome. I'll give it a shot. Went in, and it just kind of laid everything out. By the way, I have a question for you.
Mhm.
Like breaking down all these different things, where did you learn like what they're looking for and that kind of stuff to be able to like kind of put this all together for us?
Oh, so how did I learn my cheat sheet? It's all patterns. I took a lot of practice tests, studied a lot for the exam, read a lot of material from a bunch of different sources, listened to a ton of different podcasts. They're all PT related. And I was noticing they kept asking the same things about the same conditions all the time. And they kept talking about the keywords. I started figuring out the keywords, and that's what I teach mostly in my course. As you know, like I harp on like these are the things the boards really cares about. Pay attention to these things. And how accurate was I with pay attention to these specific things?
Yes, there were times during the test where I was like, oh, I know this one, like boom, right away, just by like one word that I read.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So that's pretty much what it was. I started studying for the boards. Ooh, probably January 2020. Yeah, January 2020. I started listening to podcasts and stuff. I didn't take the boards until January 2021. I just kept studying, learning stuff. It's about 8 weeks actually studying for the boards. Studied for about like took like 5 practice tests, just started noticing all the patterns, went through every single question. I was like, they're asking the same things. They keep asking the same things about the same conditions. That's how I figured it out. Then that's how I put this course together. And I basically was like, and I explained to my boyfriend. My boyfriend didn't pass the first time as well. He's also a PTA. He was in a cohort with me. And I just talked to him. And I showed him the keywords and stuff. He's like, oh, this is making sense. He also took another course to help him with that because I couldn't teach him because I didn't have any of this stuff right now. And I don't think I should have taught him anything. But then once I figured that out, I was like, oh my gosh, it's just a pattern. So I figured out the code. I cracked the code, guys.
Yeah, it definitely comes in handy. You know, there were times where, I'd be going through and just boom. And then another time where I was like, okay, I'm kind of familiar with this. Let's look back. And then like something would just click and like your video would play in my head, while I'm taking the test because you have those big headphones on. And I definitely figured it out and I did really well the second time.
There you go. See, it works. It works. And I hope I was in your head when you took the break to be like, oh, I need to take this break or Bree's going to be mad at me.
Yes. Yes. Just doing push-ups in the lobby and stretching and walking around, getting the body moving again. Because again, I'm a slow test taker. I think I had 3 minutes left after that whole test, and like I was like the only one in there. Like people just go and like can do it in 2 hours. I'm just like, yeah, it's just not me.
Not for everyone, and everyone takes the test different, and there's no one size fits all model for studying for the boards. So do you feel like just the videos were the thing that probably helped you the most from the course?
Yes, the videos definitely helped the most. Just breaking down each thing, each major topic, especially like incomplete SCIs. Let's see, what were some other things? Postural drainage was a huge help. just because at least my class, we went during COVID, so we were there 2 days a week. So the hands-on stuff and the visualizations and stuff, you know, were kind of tough to read in a book, so some of the things I could still access and go over with a video, but most of it, not so much.
Well, I'm glad I was able to help you with being able to replay my videos as many times as you need it.
Yes.
I think one of the other students who went through the course, he went through every video 3 times. I'm like, oh my gosh. And he was like, hey, Brie, did you know in PowerPoint slide 4 of this slide, I noticed on my second watch through that there's a mistake here. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But it was helpful. It was really helpful. And yeah, so that's awesome. So tell me about the day when you opened up the FSBPT website and you saw that you passed instead of that failed.
That was good. I mean, I'm not a very, person. I'm not a person filled with emotion with things. I was like, hey, guess what? I passed. Like, super cool. Like, my mom starts crying. My dad's like, oh, that's so awesome. I'm just like, yeah, like, I'm ready to make some money. Let's go. Like, just ready to roll.
You were like, this was overdue. Come on, let's go. Let's
Yeah.
go. Like, did you
Yeah.
feel like when you came out of the exam, you felt pretty confident? Because I remember you hit me up on Voxer. You're like, you know what? I felt a lot better about that this time than the last time.
Yeah. And the last time I missed it by a couple of points. So I was just like, yeah, like I feel a lot more comfortable this time around than the last time. The last time I was like, well, it's about a 50-50 shot. And the first time I took it, there were two things that kept on coming up, and I didn't study them very hard. So you kind of have to hit everything, and know a little bit about everything to at least narrow it down and have a better educated guess.
Yeah, and I tell people, I'm like, you got it. You can't just keep studying the stuff you're confident with and then keep patting yourself on the back like, yeah, I'm good. You got to study something that you're like, oh crap, I don't even understand this, like postural drainage. I blew off postural drainage, but when it came to having to teach you guys how to study, my boyfriend, somehow this was like the one thing he was good. I don't want to say it's the one thing he was good at, but it was just funny that the thing that I was like, I don't want to study this or look at this, he's like, oh, this is easy, I got this. He like explains it all to me in like a one fell swoop, and I'm like, okay, take note of that, put that in the course.
Yeah, I mean, like all the practice tests that I've taken, the ones that I've passed, I barely passed, like a 605, 602. Some of them I didn't do well. I feel like they're more difficult, or they're very wordy.
The score builders tests.
Yes.
They do write some pretty tough questions, but I think they're good because it makes it tougher than the actual exam. So when we get to the exam, you'll see a question similar and you're like, oh, this makes sense, I got this.
Yeah, the score builders were good. They were pretty specific on things though. The practice Pete's were the ones that I was talking about, where they gave you a score. Those I felt like were more wordy, and that, I like getting right to the point.
Mm-hmm. And they're going to add fluff in there to confuse you. They're going to add the fluff. That's why keywords, find the keywords, get rid of the fluff. That is what I do. So what is one piece of advice you would offer any PTA student on their journey right now, or anybody about to take the NPT in I guess July is when this is being recorded?
Okay. Well, for PTAs, I would buddy up with somebody or a couple people to go over stuff for comps and the hands-on stuff. At least, I don't know what it is now. I don't know if they're there all the time or what, but just that extra practice, especially if you're not in like a health science field already or have a lot of experience with this kind of stuff. It takes time to get things down, and certain professors definitely like watch you like a hawk, so they make sure you have the right technique. Not going to name any names, but yeah, that, and anybody prepping for the boards, you really have to get a schedule down. It's another thing that helped me with your program is just, breaking everything down every day of the week, one day off, just time management, making sure you're putting in the time. The first time that I didn't pass the board, I felt like, okay, just let me take it next week and I'll pass it. Like, that's like, I felt ready. but you have to wait 3 months to take it again. So when I started looking at things again, a lot of things, I had to relearn or learn a different way, just because if you're not looking at it every day, you definitely tend to lose it.
Yep, I agree. 100%. Time management is the key to being able to tackle anything that's a big task, because as you said, you get this 1,000-page book. What the hell am I going to do with this 1,000-page book? Let's break it down into small, manageable sets, and let's do it that way.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Kris, for coming on today and sharing your story. If students want to reach out to you, how are they able to reach out to you? Or if they are
not Bookface.
not Bookface, don't add him on Facebook. He won't ever check it.
Yeah, it's gone. Facebook is going to be gone. But I don't know. Have them contact you. You can contact me. Just play the middleman.
Yep. I'll send anybody your way if they have a similar story and want to reach out to you. So thank you so much for coming on today. I appreciate it. And everybody who's listening to this, thank you for listening. And I will see y'all in the next one.